Hey, what is up, you guys? Kokosing Valley Model Railroad speaking. Well, what you see here is a locomotive I've been working on for a club member. He's our club president of the Kokosing Valley Central Railroad Club right here in Central Ohio, in Mount Vernon, Ohio. This was a diesel locomotive I've been working on. It's a Train Masters Pennsylvania engine number, it looks like 8809, a DCC locomotive. Just got done getting some wires put back on the locomotive. I had to take the trucks off so I can get to the wire connectors. This is the original decoder for it. Now it has a new speaker in it, which is this is a Sugar Cube speaker. Now if I have it, yep, there it is. Here's the original speaker. Which you can tell, it's about the same size, but a little bit smaller, and they fit just great. So this is just an extra speaker for the locomotive. So yeah, and just trying to work on it a little bit. I got all the screws and parts. When you guys see me doing projects, you will see these white containers, which is nice to keep all the parts in when I'm doing the repairs on them. I have a soldering station here. I've got some really nice soldering tips for use this year. This is like a needle point soldering tip. So, Weller soldering iron, really good soldering iron. If you're working on model trains, this is a great soldering iron. You can tell what the model type is down here. WESD 51. It's a well good. They have a modern day soldering iron like this. They have a battery version and then there's an electrical version. They have this has the dial, but I have it turned off right now, so I won't be demonstrating that. These little holders, the holes on that's for holding your solder pens when you're soldering. So these were the soldering tips. This is the old soldering tip. It broke. So I had to get some new ones. So these are the ones I have. My straight edges. These are all straight ones for working. Here's one for tiny detail work if I'm doing wood. This is one I've been using for a while. This is what the old one would have looked like. This one kind of. Or this one right here, the bigger tip. But these are the new soldering tips. These are Weller soldering iron tips. You can order these on Amazon, eBay, wherever. If you got the handy helper, this handy helper too, this is great for working on wires and holding things up. And you always want to have a soak sponge when you're working on stuff like this. But yeah, the Train Master diesel engine had to be wired back up, so I got all the wiring done for the lights. I'll be doing a test run soon on this engine to get it ready to roll. It is a DCC diesel locomotive. I'll have to do some touch-up gluing on the railings and clean it up a little bit. And then put all the couplers back on it and the screws. So I'll have to organize this mess of wires to make sure everything works well, everything works. Now the weird thing, how the speakers fit, I don't know who the previous owner was, but I kind of don't like the way the speaker is on this engine. Because he put holes up here, just doesn't look right. Now, if I had my chance to put speakers on an engine, I'd put them right back here, right at the vent line, where the vents are, because that's where the light is, but you've also got holes coming up through there, which, I mean, it looks right. It would be prototypical. For me, I would file this hole here, and then maybe install the speaker into this hole here, if it was the right size. and then flatten this off a little bit. And that would be it. And just put the speaker right in here. So that's where I would put it. But what the owner told me to do is put the speaker in the front. I had to wire it up. This rubber band is holding it down just to make sure the wires are good on it. And it's a plug. It's not a plug and play. I don't know what type of decoder this is. This looks like, to me, it doesn't really have a maker or model on it. But one of the club members was selling this engine, and one of the members bought it and started working on it. So, and then he asked me, he said, "Hey, can you work on this for me and redo the wires on this?" And I said, "Sure," and I'll resolder them for him, because he doesn't have a steady hand, and he's an older gentleman, so he wanted me to do the work. So now I'm starting to work on these DCC locomotives now, repairing them, fixing them, and starting to learn my way around how these things are worked and wired up. So it's an interesting new goal for me to work on DCC locomotives. So far, I've worked on maybe 4 or 5 DCC locomotives, mostly diesels and steam engines. I will show you 2 new diesels I have, which are DCC locomotives, and they're both different models. This is a Bachmann Spectrum, which this one has been heavily modified to DCC. There's another couple diesels I'll show you guys in the near future. I'm doing DCC projects for. They're plug-and-play decoders, so I've got to just add them in there. But I'll show you the locomotives and the way they'll be customized and painted. Not doing the customizing and painting. That's another friend of mine that's doing it. But yeah, once I get the whole thing together, you won't even recognize it was this locomotive. But like I said, if I had my way to put the sound or the speaker, I'd put it right back here. I would file the whole front end down, or file this whole back end down. Take a Dremel tool to it, and then just file the stinking daylights out of that piece. So I wanted to show you this engine and show you what I've been up to on it. It's a DCC locomotive. Particularly, I don't know who had it originally, but a ton of grease on it. I might try to clean that up and maybe give the wheels a good cleaning. But just wanted to show you guys the project, what I've been up to on this locomotive, and just to show you what I am capable of working on a DCC locomotive for my repair business. So I wanted to show you guys this, and have a wonderful night. This is Kokosing Valley Model Railroad signing out, and I hope you guys have a nice night.